check, Chuffy, Chuffy, 1, 2. Check, Chuffy, Chuffy, 1, 2. Let me see this stream is rolling. Let me see that. Check, Chuffy, Chuffy, 1, 2. I can hear myself. Let me see if I can hear myself. If I can hear myself, you can hear me. So I'm going to do this. And then I'll do my little bit of chuffing introduction and we'll get straight into it. This is a bit of a special edition, this one. A bit of a very special edition because an old friend of mine, Tree, contacted me a little while ago actually to say she might be able to help with getting my film out. My film, the film. Me and my friend Matt, we made this film. And basically, I'll give you a little rundown on what it is, but the film's going to speak for itself. And then I'll give you a little rundown on what the constraints are with me showing it you. And then we'll just watch it. I'll try not to chuff all the way through it. We'll go onto the web browser where you'll see it in big. And my face will be disappeared. I will disappear my face by moving it around. Hang on. Let me show you. Like that. Oh, I'm gone. I'll disappear my face. Bring it back there. And you'll be able to see the film. And we won't... it's not the whole film. It's a 30-minute investor reel or sponsor reel or, preview reel. It's basically 30 minutes. It looks like the film. It's got the right start, a bit at the end, a bit in the middle. It's got lots of it missing because it's not the whole thing, is it? The whole thing's an hour and 40 minutes. I have finished editing the whole film. It's an hour and 40 minutes long. The only issues that I have with broadcasting it to the public, there's two issues I have with broadcasting the whole film to the public. One is I want to try and sell it to a broadcaster. So if I've put it out on YouTube for free, they're less likely to buy it off me and put it on Netflix, basically. Two is that some music bits I don't have the copyright for. Now, it's quite easy to get. We just need a little bit of money in the budget. I've probably got that in my own bank now. Probably got that. And we need the people. It's a funny chain of events because I've been to the people and said, I like this music. Can I please use it for my film? And they've said, absolutely. How much of it do you want to use and where do you want to use it? And where's it going to be broadcast? And I've said, well, I don't know where it's going to be broadcast because I haven't got a broadcast deal yet. And they've said, well, why don't you tell us about your budget and your broadcast deal and get back to us? And I've been like, well, I don't really have much budget and I don't have broadcast. So then I've gone to the broadcasters. I've got this film I want to, put out. I'm not much good at, me talking to Netflix. There's a big missing link in the chain there. Big missing link in the chain. So I'm not much, I haven't got it into Netflix's hands and whatever. But if any broadcaster did want it, then they could tell. I'm just a bit, I'm a producer, a media producer. I'm not a producer, got all the contacts on my phone and all the people to call. So this is why my friend Trish suggested she might be able to help. I'm happy just that someone suggested to help. I'm hopefully broadcasting this in the hope that some people on the internet might help, Some people on the internet might help. I've hidden it away for a couple of years because I've worked really hard on it myself and it honestly, was detrimental to my mental health. It got to a point where I was carrying this thing, like pushing this burden up this hill and it kept rolling back and I felt like, demoralised and defeated. So I had to sort of look away from it for a while and replenish my mental health. Now we can look at it again. So for me, it's going to be a bit of an ordeal. I'm already feeling quite nervous about presenting it in this way. In terms of the music copyright, just quickly cover this and DMCA and what have you. It's okay. I've put it up on YouTube as a tester. And there's only one track in it by Katie Tunstall, which we're not committed to. We can change that music. Somebody can come forward and say, oh, I've got some music I can put over it. We can get around the copyrights. We can get the film out there. I'm happy to go that way. The Katie Tunstall track I'm not committed to, and the DMCA will pick it up. It will pick it up. But hello, Sisyphus. Capital K knows what he's talking about. The copyright system will pick this up when we broadcast this today, but it's just going to say you can't monetize it and what have you, and YouTube might have a problem with it. So fine. But the other bits of music, the classical music, I really am committed to trying to keep them in the film because this film, you will see, I'm not going to go on about the film too much. I'm going to let the film speak for itself. But it's about game development. It's also about Sweden. It's also about art. And we went to this special place in Sweden. We filmed this special thing that happened, this game development camp and these people and their journey. And the music I found was created by a classical composer who lived in Sweden and went through a very similar process in his life of living and working and creating art. And so I was kind of committed to using that music. I really want to use that music. So hopefully we can get that music at some point, signed off on. But it's not going to bugger up the copyright in terms of us watching it now. Don't worry about that. Everything's going to be fine. It's not going to get us stricken off YouTube. It's okay. It's just a little bit of copyright music in a bit of thing we're watching. People do it all the time. It's just that I'm aware of it in advance, which makes it a bit naughty. But I want this sort of feel to it, so hopefully we get this music. Other than that, this is a preview reel. It doesn't represent final broadcast quality because it could be tweaked. I've got this massive hard drive with this film on it, an hour and 40 minutes. It's basically finished. It's finished. There's a couple of moments in it where I think, oh, I'd like to make that a bit better. There's one thing I'd really like to do when we talk about games, because we talk about them a lot. We see some computer games on the screen, and I'd like to feel, instead of them being on a computer screen, where's my Nintendo Switch gone? I'd like to see, just for my own editorial feel, see how you can see this screen here? This screen here? But we're bordered by the actual reel of the room. I want my screens to be real devices filmed in a natural setting, like with grass and trees around them in the woods, because a lot of this stuff goes on in the woods. So that would be a really comfortable feel for me. I don't want it to be a full screen, suddenly the game. I want it to be just, so I'd like to shoot those bits. And I don't know, we didn't until the very end of the film know which bits of game footage we would need to put in those bits. So there's those little moments. There's just a little bit of editorial polish that needs to go on. It's at the point now, this film, where someone could watch this show reel. Hi, Tree. Nice to see you here. Subscribed. No, so I'll go on to say what I'm saying what we're doing. So anyone can watch this now. It hopefully will build a bit of hype and a bit of like, oh, this is good. We might turn to a crowdfund. We might find a producer. We might find a broadcaster. Tree might be able to help us with this. You know, even if that doesn't help, even if Tree's going to help, I'm really thankful. But even if it doesn't mean that all of a sudden, it's on Netflix, I'm just pleased for the help and the fact that it's put me in this frame of mind where I feel like, yes, we can share it and talk about it and stuff. So I think it's a positive move all round, and whatever comes of it will be positive. So I've hidden this away for a couple of years. Now I'm ready to start showing it, people. This reel will draw some attention. The final film is basically ready. I can't show you the final film because obviously I'm trying to sell it, trying to get it to a broadcaster. And also, even if we don't get it to a broadcaster, at the end of the year, we could put it on YouTube. Maybe people pay £1 to watch it or something, whatever. I'm still happy that it gets out there. You know what I'm like? I'm happy that it's made and it's out there. But there are 2 or 3 little bits of polish in the edit that I would like to take my hard drive to a real professional editor and say, look, that's an hour and 40 minutes of what I've done. Give it a skim over. Just here I'd like this, just there I'd like that. I'm going to go and shoot some video games in the woods. And then we'll put it all together, and the music on top, icing on the cake. I need, if I'm honest, I would like somebody like a professional editor, because I'm doing my best here, but a professional to just give it a little skim, not to change it all around and say, we'll take this bit out and put this bit in here, and why don't you get rid of that? Not to do all that, just to polish it a bit, just to polish it. The sound levels and the balance and all that. So that's how I feel about it all. I'm not going to show you the whole film now. We're going to watch a 30-minute preview. I can get the link from this preview reel to you, Tree. I can give you the link to this. It's a YouTube link, and it can be shown around the world. The copyright music just means I can't monetize it. I've looked into it. It didn't cancel me off YouTube. It's happy with it. So that's where we're at. I'm going to let us see this. There's 2 other things I need to say. One is I need to grab a drink because my mouth has suddenly got really dry. And 2, I want to give you a little bit of the art direction. Before I know, loads of chopping, loads of talking, but there's a couple of little art choices that I want to make you aware of before we start, because you might think, what's happening there? Hang on just a second. So, the director's cut. I am not going to. I tell you what I'm not going to do. I am not going to, yeah, exactly. Without hearing about art, it wouldn't be a proper stream, would it? I'm not going to spend this entire half-hour show reel pausing it and talking and pausing it and talking. I will have your chat on the side. I'll see it. I'll make my face almost invisible so it can be seen as a reel so you can enjoy it. But if anything big comes up, I might pause it and I might talk about it. You know what I'm like. And we can watch this every chuffing Friday if we want. I own it. It's mine. Other than a little bit of the music, I made this. This is mine. We can watch it every Friday if we want. So even if we do pause it, and it, if I'll give Tree the link, she'll be able to use the link and send it to people. It's on YouTube. We'll work it all out. For now, there's only one other couple of things I wanted to say, which is that you will see up in the top left here when I move this around. Web browser. I'm getting excited now. You see, look at the framing of that. See the frame on it there. The frame of it. It's really wide, isn't it? I've shot this. We have shot this, me and Matt, in HD 1080p, but I have framed it for cinema in the silver ratio, so it might have black lines on the top and bottom. That's intentional. I want it to be like this widescreeny effect, silver ratio. That was a choice. So that's what I wanted to say about that. Other than that, yeah, it's going to get arty. It's not going to have a lot of video game music. It's going to be people talking about themselves and their feelings. One other point to make, if it's out of sync, let me know. I can mess around with it. The only thing that's out of sync is my buffer between the sound and the video, because I've got all these different settings and things have to be synced up, sound and video, when you're streaming. So we can adjust that. If it's too out of sync and it spoils it, we can adjust it now. If it's not a big problem, we can leave it and I can adjust it in post for another stream, whatever. The actual film is not out of sync. Don't ever worry about that. The actual film is all in sync, all properly done nicely. So don't worry about that. Okay, let's switch to the web browser and let's press play. You'll be able to hear it all. I'll keep an eye on it and we'll see that it's working. Don't worry about this little disclaimer here for selected audiences without permission. Don't worry about that. Let's make my face disappear. Let's make me go away.
Some things that Sweden has given to the world. Listen up carefully, because here we go. IKEA, Absolut Vodka, ABBA. There you go.
I heard about Stugan by chance because I was following this developer who was here last year. I really liked his game. I won't say which developer, I don't want to encourage the competition. But
the point of Stugan is to bring together game developers from all over the world and have them work on their games here for 7 weeks.
When the first time I heard about it, it has the tagline of like in the middle of the woods for 2 months with 20 people.
All expenses paid, and they just need to focus on the games. We bring in mentors.
I really wanted to see this place. It's here in Falun, in the center of Sweden. We are in the center of the forest. There is the lake.
We've got these beautiful wood cabins. Like, how could you not be inspired by coming here? I'm coming here to talk to people and to offer some mentoring, but I know that I'm going to come away feeling equally as inspired.
I think that most of the projects are really interesting, and some of them have a high potential to actually hit the big numbers on the market as well.
So Stugan is this experimental game development camp in the forests of Sweden where people come together from all over the world to work on the game for 2 months.
So Stugan is kind of like some sort of acceleration program for game developers.
And it looked absolutely kind of mind-blowingly incredible.
I just imagined like
a month and a half just escaping from my life. I don't have to worry about anything.
And it's a completely non-profit endeavor, so it is all about just giving a place for developers to work together in a kind of an organic way.
The majority of the money we get comes from these individual people from games industry who want to give back and who want to help new people. So the idea behind Stugan comes from Oscar Burman and Tommy Palm. Oscar Burman, he has had quite long and impressive career in games. Tommy Palm, he's first of all my dear husband, and he's also one of the founders of Stugan.
Stugan is Swedish words and it means cabin. A lot of Swedes have that reference to the summer times when they go out to that in the country house and just have a couple of weeks off. So we chose the name Stugan because Stugan was the first commercial video game in Sweden. It was made in 1977. It was actually my college professor who was part of the team. One of my dreams and the drive was I wanted to have this opportunity to walk into a bus or a subway and see somebody playing a game that I worked on. And that took a really long time. I think it was in 2013 in Taiwan when I finally randomly walked in. Somebody was playing a game that I've been working on, and that was Candy Crush.
There's no greater feeling than watching someone play your game and get it, and there's no worse feeling than watching someone play your game and not have a clue what's going on.
When you're making a game, you're always making it for someone to play, and it's always for someone to like it as well. Like,
you want an emotional reaction.
There's an emotional reaction that you're looking for.
I read as someone who's an extrovert, but I'm actually like a terrible introvert. So when I make a game as a reason to like interact with someone and they enjoy it, it's like so thrilling. It feels like I'm really connecting on a special level with them.
I've been in the industry for a long time, making video games since childhood.
I mean, I did my thesis at Frostbite, so I saw like the insides of a big gaming company.
I started programming when I was very little, so I think around 97 when I made little small text-based games.
We had one game before and we tested ourselves, but we wanted to evolve our team relationship and production side and our knowledge in game development itself.
Game development for me is just such a source of inspiration and passion.
Video game file is an executable, and back in the day it was really easy to look into the files. All these alien characters make my soldier go right and left and shoot the paratroopers from the sky. I was like, wow, I want to make these one day.
I built this computer myself. I like building computers, it's fun. It's always a lot of work, so precise. You always get all sweaty because it's like surgery. This is basically a giant calculator that can calculate what color is 2 million of pixels on your screen are gonna be 60 times per second. This is all this can do. All.
Having all these people from all over the world, getting all these people into one place, all with these different amazing stories as to how they became game developers and how they got there. It's incredibly exciting and inspiring.
It's also sort of strange because you've never met each other before. You're in this very special place. I don't know exactly how to phrase it, but you're in this kind of bubble. So you don't know anything about each other's past, and then you just start to get knowing each other very intensively.
Okay, so you have a lot of nerds in a cabin.
So you really get to know people because you have to eat with them 3 times a day. You maybe sleep next to a lot of them. I mean, you basically sleep next to each other.
Stugan is also a lot of fish and boiled potatoes.
And Swedish bread, which isn't actually bread. I'm pretty sure they mine it from the the Rocks art pack.
Do you remember when I was so convinced that they were giving us stale bread? Because it's so hard.
Yeah, so that's what Stugan is, dear viewer. Stale bread in video games, the dream.
This year we have 15 teams. They come from 16 different countries, and in total that is 25 people.
If there's more voices, you get more different and better results, right? You won't get only the same thing all over again.
I'm Kubra.
And I am Yunus.
We are Game Brain team. We are from Ankara, Turkey.
I grew up in Poland.
I'm from New Zealand. Mexico City.
I'm from Denmark.
Brazil!
And there's that British guy.
Yeah.
Hi, mate. How are you doing, mate?
So my name is Henry Hoffman. I'm an independent video game designer and I'm from London. Well, I grew up in Suffolk, but I've been based in London for the last 6 years. So I put together a pitch video for a game idea which was called Split Screen. And the idea is that there was these 4 sort of different worlds that kind of overlay each other. And the idea was that you kind of subvert the idea of the traditional split screen game. It's always about exploring ideas that haven't been explored, so it's about creating new experiences.
People who want to be a part of Stugan, they need to send us an application video, a 90-second long pitch where they need to present the team and the game.
So making the pitch video was, for me, first of all, I understood the purpose. They wanted to see me as a character, but I didn't, with the pitch video, didn't take it very seriously. And I think that's why it worked.
I reshot it like dozens and dozens of times, trying to get it just right.
I submitted the application like at 11:59 at the very last second, because I just kept tweaking it for ages. So.
The video is a gift from me to them, saying, hey, I give you this piece of me that I recorded in time, and I hope that you will take me in for my personality and my whatever.
The class I teach, or the class that I've taught for the past year, it's called Introduction to Game Studies, which is sort of nebulous maybe. But it's a theoretical and critical approach to writing and talking about games. My path to becoming a developer began when I was an undergraduate student. I studied English Lit, but I was more interested in studying games, and I wrote academically about games, and I sort of used that as a sneaky way to get into graduate school to study game design explicitly.
I have more of an art background. I went to art school in the US, so it was about painting and drawing stuff.
Actually, it was only my last game, Hue, where I learned how to program for reals. Before I was using like drag and drop tools, because I come from a kind of a design and art background. I would do anything I could to make the game that doesn't involve programming for the longest time.
So what will explain me in simple words is that I like to create, and I'm not married to anything. I've been through so many different creative processes. I've been trying them all, I've been tasting them all. So my game is called The Forest Quartet, and it's about a spirit trying to get an old band back together. And what you do half of the game is that you explore this rich forest, kind of deep forest, and the other half is where you solve puzzles. It's a little bit of a spiritual game without trying to change everyone's existence, but I think I want to believe that I'll always be sort of here. And that doesn't mean I have to be here, but it means that I'll always be. And there's something about that, and then having a spirit body that connects. Yeah, it's really abstract. I don't want to talk too much about this stuff. Yeah. I'm gonna look like an asshole.
My game uses photographs to tell its story. I'm still having a hard time describing it because there aren't a lot of reference points for it. It uses photographs in a sort of semi-stop motion-y way, just performing sort of mundane actions like riding the subway, typing on your computer, pouring a cup of juice in the morning. Each action lasts 10 seconds long, and then the game automatically moves on to the next action. And it goes through all of these actions over and over again in the course of a day. Like you play through a day, and then another day starts, and then another day starts, and then another day starts.
She might kill me, but I really think Karina's game is quite arty. It's a photo essay.
It's very different from what everybody else does. Nobody takes pictures for their game.
So video game as art. I think definitely is culture. Art, depending on the game, definitely. I mean, you see a lot of indie studios doing a bit more experimental, more art type of games.
I think games are as much an art form as any other form of media. It might not be taken as seriously yet, but I think it's starting to be noticed by the general populace.
Well, games, compared to any other medium, allow you to interact with the world.
Actually, we don't create just shitty games, not just for money. We create art, actually.
Yeah, both create art and earn money, you know. We are the middle of the concept.
When something's so accessible like that, and you come from a high culture, almost elitist background of what fine art and art is, it becomes hard for you to think something that accessible can be good art.
A video game is whatever you want it to be. I'm sorry, that's a cop-out answer. I very much have like a postmodernist perspective on the subject. I have no desire to define what a video game is. I understand that there is like a useful cultural understanding that we use like colloquially, but for me personally in my design practice, a video game is whatever you want.
We wanted to talk about slavery
in
Brazil.
Slavery in Brazil.
The legend of Dandara, as far as I understand, and what most people believe is that she was like a queen in Africa and she was brought to Brazil to be a slave, but somehow like she got free.
The guy started making Dandara for mobile devices, and then Raw Fury stepped in and said, hey, why don't you try this in the controller? And suddenly, the controller is the Switch controller.
We don't want like the first Brazilian game announced on the Switch to be like crap. Back when I was a kid, I was playing Street Fighter. It was like, man, I want to make Street Fighter and launch games on Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for, and it's finally happening. I mean,
it feels amazing to be on the Nintendo Switch and to reach out to everybody.
My very first game, it was called The Incredible Unicorn vs. the Third Reich. it's you play this unicorn, it shoots lasers out of his unicorn thing, and you fight Nazis. That was my first game. It definitely feels like work. Sometimes, especially in the beginning when you start working on something, you're still really excited about your idea because it's somewhere in your mind, it's this perfect thing you have. But as soon as you start working on it, you notice that it's not as perfect. You just need to come up with solutions to problems, and at some point it absolutely turns into work. It's hard work, it is.
The beauty of code is that you can have something in your head and in your mind, and then you can express it and actually make it happen. So what I have here is this little character, and the animations are procedurally generated with the shaders. So this is the node graph. And you can already see that it becomes a bit more complex. And sometimes I think about if it's the best choice, choosing to sit in front of a computer all day, maybe you should just go and be like a fire watch guy or something, working in a national park, befriend some bears, have a good time.
When you start working 12 hours a day for months and maybe for years, it comes out in a moment that your body says, stop. It's not cool that in the game industry it's so common to see people overworking that much, crunching, but it's
crunching. Yeah,
crunching. It has even a name.
I definitely have underestimated the workload that goes into the gameplay and actually making the game fun.
You can be the best game developer ever, and because of a technical bug in a tool you're using, 4 years into the production you realize that your game just doesn't work.
And a lot of the times for me when I'm stressed or I'm in any high emotional state, I just work.
Here you can go hiking or canoeing or take the bike and go to the village, and I think that really helps your mental health.
I really like eating stuff from the woods, so whenever I go for a walk and I find something good, I just stop and there's no way to move me. I'm just gonna take a while. And blueberries here are spectacular. My name is Sososowski. I program the games, I do the graphics, I make the sounds, and I make music for my video games. I also do all the around the game stuff, so you have to have a marketing department, that's me. You need to have a PR department, that's me, so it's just me writing emails. You need to have a business department, so that's me reading contracts, and you also have to be present on different conferences and places like this here in Stuggen. Indie game developers are not big corporations.
Smaller games from fewer people, which usually resonates a single feature that's exploited.
So for me it's not I can't get there, it's okay, that's the goal. I don't know how exactly, but
we'll do it.
One step at a time, you'll figure it out, right?
In indie game community, we come together a lot, we support each other, we interact with each other, we are this one big family.
Today it was actually my round to play the Mosh Pit Simulator by Sauce. He never let anyone play it, but today was the day where everybody could put himself in a list, and then everybody got a slot.
Every week they would ask me if they could play my game, and I would say next week. And that never happened, so it's happening today. I got to save my lab rats. So now we can play some Mosh Pit Simulator.
Yeah, for line over.
I'm Sebastian. I work for Coffee Stain Publishing and I work mainly with our VR stuff. We are responsible for creating games such as Sanctum and Sanctum 2 and then Goat Simulator, which became a massive kind of hit. I'm actually here visiting the team we signed on, which is Coastal Bite. We're sponsoring their time here in Stugan and they're making a game called Puppet Fever. We fell in love with the concept.
Puppet Fever is a social VR game. A VR game that you play with your friends and family in the living room, where you try to act out, sort of like charades, with your puppet theater.
You have one player inside of VR trying to communicate with the players outside of VR.
Playing together is fun. I think especially when you're in the same room, like on a console or something.
Or like board games.
Yeah, like board games.
Like here at Stugan, we've been playing a lot of board games with other people.
I love playing games. I love playing both video games, but I also love playing board games. And one of the coolest things about Stugan for me is that there is always somebody who wants to play some games in the evening.
I think a game can do a lot of things for people. Like, it depends on the game. It can be a game like Monument Valley that tries to make your life easier when you're waiting in the line. Or it could be some MMO that helps you connect with people all over the world. And
like, we've been playing since we evolved into humans, and it's always going to be a part of our psyche and who we are. And I think everyone has a game for them, or, you know, is a gamer at heart somewhat.
We actually have a Dungeons and Dragons team, what do you call it, here at Stugan. And we're playing like a modified version, so where we replaced all the popular races like the elves with birds. I'm playing a duck druid.
The adventurers decide to plunge deeper into the ancient temple structure. Marlowe's chambers must be getting closer. They feel confident after defeating the chess queen and go boldly through the door behind the smashed chess pieces. Merc manages to quietly slide the door open and take a peek, and eventually sneak inside together with Ward. The magpies find a great evil-looking statue in the room, along a bunch of grim mercenary ducks.
My plan is that we use the masks to disguise as the guards that we killed. Yeah, exactly. And the brilliance of this plan is that we approach Marlowe like this, and the one who is equipped with a burnt armor is like wounded, and then we trick Marlowe into thinking that
Stugan is not just about the games, it's more about their personal journeys, you could say. Many people come to me after Stugan and they say they really developed as human beings and they got to know themselves.
Now that I'm back here 2 years later, it's kind of this feeling that my soul can breathe.
I think something I found is as I've got older, it becomes difficult to make kind of long-lasting friends. Like, that happens all the time when you're young, when you're at school. But suddenly when you're thrown into this sort of environment where there's lots of people who all love sort of similar things to you, you actually make really, really good friends, which is it's been a long time since I think that's happened for me.
I mean, I'm definitely going to go to Bosnia and visit Amman Ivan at some point.
Martin Costa, yeah! Like, if you've been a nerd in school and, like, you know, you're kind of the kid who's into this thing and other people aren't really. So suddenly you come to Stugan and you have all of these people around you and they're like you. And I think it's for some people it's like this amazing revelation of, like, my God, these other people, they're like me. And you kind of feel like you found your tribe.
Part of Stugan is going out on these various kind of day trips. And we went to a copper mine which supplied 75% of the world's copper.
När jag är full och så är jag glad. När jag är glad är jag vacker. Jag går omkring i vår lilla stad, är bland hus och baracker. Och alla träden välter jag omkull, och det gör jag bara när jag är full.
There are 9 million bicycles in Beijing. That's a fact. It's a thing we can't deny. Like the fact that I will love you till I die. We are 12 billion light years from the edge. That's a guess. No one can ever say it's true, but I know that I will always be with you. I'm warmed by the fire of your love every day. So don't call me a liar, just believe everything that I say. There are 6 billion people in the world, more or less, and it makes me feel quite small. But you're the one I love the most of all.
One, two, check, Chuffy, 1, 2. I'm back. There you go then. There's my big face. Back to normal. Normal service is resumed. Tell you what, I feel I need to put on the relaxing video game music in the background. I need to put on the... thanks for the clapping, thanks. I need the relaxing video game music in the background, please. Relaxing. 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 No. I can't have relax. I can't relax. Relaxing. Oh, relaxing sounds. This is a relaxing Zelda. That's my favourite. I can't even spell it right. That's how unrelaxed I am when I type it. Relaxing Zelda. Give me an advert. No, just straight in. Thanks. Thanks. Oh, that'll calm me down a bit. Honestly, I feel like absolutely on edge. I've been through an emotional roller coaster just watching that quietly, just like you have quietly. Emotional roller coaster. I put so much hard work into it. I've seen the complete finished full hour and 40-minute edit as well, which could be hacked down to an hour and 30 to be honest. There's a couple of little bits I could trim out, and I know there's a little bit more polish on my final version even than that, and the sound balance and stuff, you know, there are still some issues with that investor reel, but overall that's basically, you know, a little sneak. We get deeper into the stories, we get deeper into the people's stories, they tell us some more stuff. There are a few more magic moments. We visit Carl Larsson's house, a notable Swedish artist and designer. yeah, there's some more magic moments in the actual main film. But there you go. That's the Stugan film. That's the sponsor reel. What I did on my holidays. Come on, you just want the picture of the housey. Just a picture of the house. He won't let us have it. Right then.
Yes, Tab.
Yeah, oh no, that's Tommy. That's Tommy Palm. There's the housey there. That's a Stugan cabin. A Stugan. That's the Stugan film. I'm not in any position now to like run a stream. I can't concentrate or talk properly. And really, I need to get the link to send to Tree. I need to send Tree the link, because if she just shows people this stream of me talking, I haven't even had a shave. You know, I'm those people. I'm those people that you just saw at Stugan that just like work hard quietly, but you know, work hard quietly being creative. But I'm not presentable board meeting. I can have a shave and put on a suit. I can do it. You know, I am capable, but I don't know. Anyway, that's where we're at. I hope you enjoyed it. I will show it you again, that investor reel, another few times, I'm sure. I would quite like the people that were in it, the developers that have gone on from there to, like, I should say this. In the film, we've got Ed Valiante, Nintendo spokesman. We've got obviously Tommy Palm, he made Candy Crush, Resolution Games. We've got a fella who made Clash of Clans. Tao was in there. She's from Stunlock Studios. Like, we've got a lot of like actual players like not just video game, you know what I mean, players, but actual professional. I didn't put all their names on there. I should put all their names on like this list of, you know, accolade name people that are in the document. That's one of the things I should be at and doing, but it's not me in my head in the way I think. But we've got this list of people. Then all the people who are the Stuganeers, the people who are invited there to make their games. So there's them, and there's the mentors, aren't they? See, so the mentors, one of them, Monument Valley. One of them made Monument Valley. You know, they come in and do. We've got the Stuganeers as well. Their stories don't finish at the end of the film, do they? Like, they go on. Their games, in the main, have ended up realised and produced. Like Dandara, one of the games you saw on that, is now on the Switch, and they're working on their next game. Another game that you saw, Puppet Fever, was on the Oculus. Another game that you saw, the team Semblance, they made Semblance, and they're now on the Xbox, PlayStation. You know, do you know what I mean? Like, these people made the games at this project, and they're not just like, you know, like my film, not exposed to the public. Like, they've actually gone on and got the publishing, and they're out there. So what's in the film is a load of, like, you know, top people from the industry. Well, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not very good at writing the marketing and, you know, ringing the people. Oh, I've got all the top people in the industry in my film. You know, but I have. They're there in it. I'd like a couple. Like, you saw one little bit that I'd like polished on that as well, which is when Tommy was introduced. I'd like a little edited montage of Tommy Palm's news hits, you know, because he's been in the news a bit, and like a professional editor, not me, like a professional editor, just polish that a little bit for me. And the video game footage you saw, Dandara's game, it was like full screen. I want that a screen within a screen. I want it on the Switch, which you can get it on the Switch now. I've filmed it myself for the main film. I've got those cuts in it, but they could be done a little bit better. So just a little bit of polish. The sound mix needs to be mixed properly, doesn't it? And on the full film. So we need to get that, my hour and 40-minute edit on my big hard drive in Final Cut Pro. I need to take that and put it in the hands of producer. Like, I'm an indie developer, so now I want someone else on the team who's like a producer, who's like, here's the editor, they cost this amount of money, give them the hard drive, it's going to cost like $2,000, they're going to give you the film back polished and done. Yeah, you know, that sort of job. That, not re-edit it, change it. I've got it, it's an hour and 40 minutes long. We can maybe lose the bit with the lawyer that gets a bit slow. You know, we can maybe tighten up some of the edits if you like. We can maybe, there's a couple of style points, you know, that I can talk about with an editor, and they can say, oh, that's easy, or that's hard, or whatever. Otherwise, we've got the full documentary, it's done, and it doesn't have those little beep bits in the middle of it. You know, it flows a bit more steadily because it's a full film. And then we give that from there to the people who want to buy it. The money, you know, the producer needs to be able to say like, oh, so and so is interested in putting this on their network because it's a proper film. You know, I worked on Eddie Strongman, that went on Netflix. They need to know what they want to do with it, so we can get the license for that classical music that you hear all the way through it, and then it's like we're good to go, basically. So there's a little bit of extra work needs to be done, and it's the kind of lift. Like, I've done so much. Like the reason I felt so emotional when I just watched that half hour again is because I've worked so hard on it for such a long time, like sitting in the dark, dragging it uphill, Sisyphus, that it actually makes me emotionally. Like, I'm connected to the process in such a way that it's like hard. it's like hard for me, and this next level of process is feels so beyond me that I don't know. Like, I'm just happy to say that I need help. I'm happy to say this is what I've done, and I'm happy it's good enough. A little bit of an edit polish. A producer can watch this, they can watch the full hour and 40 minutes, they can tell me if they think it's good enough. You know, Netflix, Amazon, name another, like BBC, anyone, anyone. Sell it to somebody, get me my money back, please. I'm an indie producer, so I didn't crowdfund this. I put my own money in, spent a bit of money getting over there, spent a bit of money, you know, on a few bits and pieces, but essentially worked really hard for no pay. That's in the main, that's what I did. Bought a computer that I can edit with, and got on working really hard for no pay. So, just anything, anything would be good. But there it is, the Stugan film. It is in existence. It's a unique indie film about indie game development with a plethora of interesting and intelligent voices talking on the subjects in the film. We get a bit deeper on the subjects, indie development, what it's like to be an indie developer, the trials, the tribulations, the successes. We talk about crunch and mental health a little bit. We try and give a little pathway to people who might be interested in indie development themselves. You know, a little, what am I trying to say? We try and lay the little breadcrumbs for them to find, oh, that's how they got into it. Oh, that's their story. Or maybe I could visit this resource and find out about that. Maybe I could do it myself. You know, we try and open those doors to people a little bit in the film. We try and keep it artistic. We try and keep it, I hope that someone's nan could watch that and still understand what's going on, and it's not too in depth about coding and computer games. But also, I hope that it represents the indie developer to their honest heart and truth as well. I hope they would feel proud of being in that and representing indie development in this way. I certainly have a lot of love for the people that were there and the people that ran the project. Tommy Palm and his wife Jana, and Oscar Berman, who's not really in the film because he was away getting married, he wasn't there. The people who ran the project and still run it, you know, they did a good thing that I looked at and thought, this is like a utopic vision of how life could be, with people helping each other and doing nice things in a nice way, and considering their mental health in their production process. And I don't know, you know, it just all seemed good. So I was like, I really want to get out there, and I saw it on GDC, Game Developers Conference. I thought, I want to get out there. So I contacted Tommy, and he was like positive and receptive, and I was like, wow, this is like an opportunity not to be missed. So I got myself out there. Tommy paid for my bed and board, fed me while I was out there. Thank you very much, Tommy Palm. Absolutely grateful. I paid for everything else, and we've got the film. And I just, you know, it takes a little bit of a time to produce and edit a film, so it's not old, but it needs to get out there now. It's ready for it. It's ripe for it now, for it to get out there. It's an indie film about indie development. Hopefully we can expose more people to it through showing it on our Twitch stream every Friday, and maybe on YouTube a bit. I'm going to give Tree the link. I'll tell you what I'm going to do as well. I don't know if you're still here, Tree, but I'm going to get, because I've got too many email addresses as well. I try and just whatever. I'll try and look at them all and find the email and send you the link. I have to do that. It has to go top of my pin board because it's here on YouTube. Anyone can. It's unlisted. We can send it to anyone. They can view it. The music copyright's not a problem because we're not trying to make money off the unlisted YouTube video. You know, I'm not making money off this broadcast by copyrighted music. That's not the idea. It just happens to be on it because until we get the licenses, it's unlike. But when we get the licenses, we're happy to pay for them. So yeah, I think I've done enough chuffling now, haven't I? Done enough chuffling. I really should be more presentable. If anyone sees this and they're like, oh, that's the guy behind it. Oh, look at his beard. Look at are those headphones broken? Just pass on this one. I could be the next Werner Herzog, mate. Don't be a bozo. Don't be a bozo. Werner Herzog, you know, I could be the next Werner Herzog. I know what I'm doing. I've gone out there. Second production. Third production. My first production was the ASMR road trip. £500 crowdfunded. Made a 45-minute documentary. It's on YouTube. It's free. I did it all myself. You can watch it. Then my second production was I went out and helped with the Eddie Strongman film, to the point where I was associate producer, camera. I went around filming things on my own, interviewing people, getting backstage footage, lots of stuff, beautiful shots in the final film. You know, a big part of the production team. That was on Netflix. So I come with some pedigree. Right, that was on Netflix. I can do the job. I'm good at going out there with my camera, talking to the people, having a good time, getting the footage compiled, making a decent edit. You know, that next level, that little bit of polish, that professional editor overview, that sound mix, that copyright licensing and, you know, legal bit. Just, you can see why, you know, probably see why from my own dress. I can dress up like that, I can have a shave and look smart, but I still don't enjoy doing those bits. So, you know, if we can get some help together, the ethereal backing music, yeah. We'll talk about this every Friday, why not? Why not keep beating this drum until it pays off? Because I've got, like I said, a full hour and 40-minute film that if by the end of the year nothing more has come forward, no more progress has been made, I might as well just unleash it on YouTube for £1 a view. You know, take the copyright music off and put some other music on and just unleash it, because it exists. I don't want to, you know, end up going to my grave keeping it under my hat, do I? I've already decided to move on to the next project. I'm creatively not working on this any further. It's finished to me. It just needs to be sold and published. But to everyone else, it's a brand new film that's interesting and unique and tells a really interesting and modern story. So, like, and yeah, if by the end of the year we haven't got there, then maybe I should just put it on YouTube. I can, because I own it and it's all on my hard drive. So, you know, them's the breaks. That's what's up. I feel a little bit relieved in a way that we've got through this. A little bit relieved. And I instinctively feel like I can't put anything else on the end of this broadcast now. I shouldn't carry on chuffing on and digging myself a hole. You know, I'm not Dragon's Den here, but if I wouldn't turn up to the Dragon's Den dressed like this, I would have had a shave and put on smarter clothes. I've just been walking the dog today. I've been wearing this jacket. I've just been wearing this hoodie because I'm just a streamer. I would have had a shave. Didn't realise this was going to be the day I presented this. It just happened like this. So, you know, it's been a long, hard road. But I've done a lot of hard work on that. Still a lot of promise. And the other thing I really need to do is I need to email or, you know, tweet or whatever all the people that are in it that I haven't spoken to for years, that, like, I'm like, come and have a look now it's nearly done, let's get you on the stream and have a chat. I need to do that. That's what we need to turn this stream into in the next coming months as well. Streamer, yeah, what is it? Mux, streamer Mux. Mux, it has to be Mux, doesn't it? You said it had to be Mux. I can't even pronounce it. Yeah, I think we can push forward with that. I feel confident and cool about it now. I'm a bit relieved, a bit stressed when we watched it the first time then. A bit stressed. It comes in higher resolution, I'll have you know, as well. We just watched it on, did we watch it on 480p? Or is that just because I skipped around? I think we watched it on 1080p. It comes in pure 1080p crisp, you know, I can edit it off nice and crisp. And, you know, a professional colour balancer, colour grader will have something to say about my final colour grade, I'm sure. But, you know, there it is, eh? I've creatively moved on to the next thing, that's what I was saying. Mentally, it was not constructive for me to send 100 emails a day and not get any response. To not know anyone to, you know, open the next door. That was not mentally constructive to me. It felt like a bit of a, oh no, disappointment. So I sort of shelved this. It's there, it exists on the hard drive. Let's move on and be more mentally constructive, productive, creative. And last year we've done this stream and we've come a long way. I'm really happy with it. We're doing it again this year. We're pushing forward and creating more. don't know if I'm ready to go out with my camera yet and start interviewing people one-on-one with the old COVID situation as it was. That put me right. Tell you what, the old COVID put me right off going out and interviewing people one-on-one. And there were times where I really wanted to be in town interviewing them one-on-one about what they think and what they were saying. You know, maybe even put together a documentary about, you know, because we're living through this extraordinary time, weren't we? We lived through this extraordinary time of COVID. Maybe go out and make a documentary about it. But at the same time, I didn't want to accidentally kill my nan or my mom. So instead, I put down the camera and I became a carer. And I actually I just stayed at home and looked after my nan. So like, I made my choices. That's that. You know, if I want to pick up the camera again and go and make another film, I was hoping this one would sell and I'd have a bigger budget. But actually, the thing that's working out is this stream, isn't it? It's the stream. So you like the Mexican? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming you mean Coca-Cola, and it doesn't. Either way, it doesn't look good on the chat. But you know, we're all good in the hood. Yeah, we're moving forward in a creative fashion. And if I want to go and pick up the camera again and go and make another documentary, as things ease with the COVID, now through your contributions, the irony is that I can do whatever I want. So maybe we do. Maybe we just don't look for a producer. Maybe we just produce some stuff, show it on stream. Let's wait for the COVID to calm down a little more. Let's get a few people sat in this room doing a bit of podcasting. Let's see where it goes. You know, let's see where it goes. I've got the kit. I've got the gear. I've got the ideas. Let's just be steady, because I've done the hard, like, coal-face, hard work, lock yourself in a room 6 months, don't come out till you've got a film. Now spend 6 months sending the film, what happens if you don't? You know, I've done that, very stressful. This way, the way we produce now, very easy going, very, very nice on my mental health. Get to walk the dog when I feel like it. So I'm really happy, and I'm hoping that the happiness, the positive feeling, now when we revisit and, you know, now we can start to pull out our now we've got a bit more confidence in the way we stream and the look and the set, and, you know, my abilities. Maybe I should have a shave. We can pull out our gems, our hidden gems, and start showing them off a bit, eh? It has less sugar than regular. In England, we have Coca-Cola the way it is. You don't have. It's just Coca-Cola. You don't have a choice about where it comes from. You don't have American Coke and UK Coke, and like, you just have Coca-Cola. It's Coca-Cola. No one's ever mentioned, is this of a controversial origin to me. Well, I suppose in America it's only next door, isn't it? So it's only next door, so things are different. But yeah, you know, yeah. What I should do now is I should sign off stream and just cut this one. I feel instinctively like staying here and talking to you for a bit longer, so I might do that a bit. But I just feel like, what if an investor or a sponsor, or like, you know, your producer, oh God, they're going to hear me saying this about them. You're a producer at Netflix, right? And you're watching this, and you've enjoyed the actual thing. You thought that shows some promise. And you know what? These days, Amazon, Netflix, you know, any of them, there's a lot of content needed, isn't there? I know you're producing it yourselves these days. I know you're on that. Like, when I made this, I was thinking, Amazon, Netflix, they need a lot of content. I'll do it all. They can buy it and just put it on there. Easy life. You don't have to do the thinking with this one. It's all good to go. Just need one of your friends, your editors, you know, one of you got them, they work for you. Give it a little look. You're going to want to give it a little once over in the edit anyway, aren't you? You're not just going to throw it straight up there with no care and consideration. Get that done. Get the sound mix done. It's good to rock and roll. We need a lot of content this year. Why not? I'll tell you what, I'm not asking for the big money like all the other. I'm not like, big Billy Big Balls striding into the I want all the big money. I just want enough money to make another little indie film. That's all I want. A little bit of money so that I can say, that was a success. You know, only what I'm due. And then, you know, I'm not going to be out there like swagging it and blagging it. I just, you know. I haven't produced it. Oh yeah, brilliant. all this time. No, that'd be great. Yeah. Like secret millionaire. But no, I'm not looking to be a millionaire. Look, I'm just quite happy if this goes somewhere, because I feel personally, not only it's not like I worked on it really hard. I feel personally their stories are valuable. The story of this independent game development camp and their ethics and their ideas and what it leads to. It's all in the film. It's all there. It's a Swedish story. It's got a little bit of cultural bow tie around, a little bow around it, a little Swedish bow. Look, Swedish house, cabin, Stugan, Swedish forest, Swedish people running it, Swedish games industry, Candy Crush, Minecraft, Swedish people that made that in the film. So, like, all a little bow around it. Lovely love letter from Sweden about the games industry and the way they see it. And then they take the people from all over the world and share that. And now we share it with the world. Beauty. It's beauty and it's love. That's what it is. And it's good to go. It's good to go. So if they see me now, they'll see the film and they'll think, oh, shows a lot of promise. And then they'll see me chatting. And they'll go, God, are we going to have to work with him? No, you don't have to work with me. Just send the contracts to capital K.
You write born to kill on your helmet and you wear a peach button. What's that supposed to be? Some kind of sick joke?
Tree's gonna be the producer.
Suggest something about the duality of man, sir.
Thank you for the tippies. Tree's going to be the producer. I have to review the tippies in another window in a minute. Thank you for the tippies. When it goes off, it makes that noise, and I have to wave my arms. It's part of the stream. So now the producers, you're the producer. The Netflix people will see me behaving like this, and they'll say, "Oh, we're going to have to work with him. We're going to have to work with him. He's going to wave his arms around when he's not." I'll behave. I'll behave. You won't have to see me. You won't have to do anything. I'll just behave. I'll be fine with it. I'm not going to ask for like multi-millions. I'm not being silly. Just, let's just get this film cut and dried, get it out there. It's already an hour and 40 minutes of pure poetic love. You can shrink it down to an hour and 30 and neaten it up a bit if you want. Do it. Get it. Let's go. Where's the tip noise from? You can have to guess. It's two things. You have to guess. It's part of the game, isn't it? It's a game. The more you feel like guessing, the more you'll put tips in because you want to hear it again. Or I suppose you could just scroll back on the... Don't scroll back. It's if I tell you, it spoils the magic, frankly. Part of it is magic. Not magic, but the magic of editing, because I've put two different things together to form one new one. So... Something British. Do it. Whoa, no, it's not. Oh, we can't talk about this. You can't just have infinite clues. You can't just probe me for. You can't just probe me for information, can you? You can't just probe me for information. If it's a guessing game, you have to guess. I can't be giving out the answers. That wouldn't be right. I'm the only one that knows. I'm sort of the only one that knows. Everybody knows because you watched it on stream. It was a stream where I got the big overall noise came from one of our streams. Now I'm giving out tips. Now I'm giving out answers. Now, why do I come back to probing? Everything comes back to probing. So yeah, if anyone sees me from Netflix and they think, oh, he's a good chap to work with, I am quite amiable, and this whole being amiable thing. A fan of they're fans of the good. See, they like it on the chat. They like it. If you see me on Netflix, I am quite amiable, and it works when I go out and meet people and do the videoing and the filming, the directing, if you will. Taking my friend with me and saying, "Can you film that? Point that at that. Focus it." Talking about the themes and the ideas and the poetry of the behind the scenes and all that. Getting on with people, getting it done. I can put a film together. I could type the emails and send them, and can we come here and do you mind if I film this? I can do that business. I'm alright with that. I don't have to come in your boardroom and mess about in me rough, scruffy jacket. I'd have a shave. If you're going to invite me to... I'm not going to the awards ceremony. There's no awards for me, so don't worry. Don't worry. But I'll just produce quality documentary, hand it over, ready, done. All you have to do is like sign... How many of those do you sign a year? How many documentaries have you got on your subscriptions for? So like 1 million? 80 to 1 million, between 80 and 1 million. There's some room for that. There's some room for this. As long as I don't dig myself with my hat turned backwards. Yeah, well, you can't see the front because it was from cosplay where I was a Fortnite man, wasn't I? Do you remember? No. I was Tilted Towers cosplay. I mean, come on. No one needs to see this. Let's have it right. Let's have it backwards. I always wear the hat backwards just because it keeps my hair out my face when I'm streaming. And wearing...
You write born to kill on your helmet and you wear a peach button. What's that supposed to be?
Sergeant at Arms!
think I was trying to suggest something about the duality of man, sir.
Thank you. Look, you got your words going. Tree knows how to work that. Look, Tree knows how to work that. Got the words going. Sergeant at Arms, Ganjikidd warrior. Tree. maybe wave my arms about. You have to have the hat on backwards simply because it keeps my hair out my eyes, and I need something to. And if you wear it the other way around, you've got the bill forward. Then it covers my eyes, and that was the whole point. I'm streaming. You're supposed to be able to see me. I have a lovely hairline. I can go hatless. It's messy hair. I mean, you wouldn't think I'd worry about being messy on stream, would you? But it's just I have to keep doing this, and it's in the headphones. You just for recording purposes and work. This is work. I'm at work, as proven by Tree and the Tippies, which I will review on Sunday and say thank you, like big thank yous for specific Tippies and messages on Sundays, because it means opening another window, and I can't do that now because this is already the extent of my brain power on the stream. Yeah, the hair's all right. It's all right. You know, the hair's all right, but we don't need to see that. We just keep it out of the way. Get it off the microphone. I don't want it in the way. Keep it out of the way. And I'm conscientious and a good work. I can make a documentary. I'll hand it over in due time. Pair me up with a... You know, if you want to, you know, throw me out there, you don't have to. We can do it through the Ganjikidd Warriors. Let's just get this one made, sold and paid, and then we'll just make another one and hand it over. You don't have to worry. I'll come up with the ideas. I'll go out there and do it. Don't worry. That's what I'm saying. I'm easy to work with. That's the message. That's the message. Please buy my film because I'm easy to work. No, because the film itself, people will be interested. Do you know the games industry? Do you know the games industry is bigger than the film industry? I don't want to say that to the people at Netflix because they're in the film game, aren't they? They're in the film game. So if I go in there waving me Billy Big Bollocks around, the games industry is bigger than the film industry. Oh. You just insulted us without knowing it, so be careful on that if they see that. But did you know? You know, it's really popular. Loads of people enjoy it. And I believe that the people that make the games are interesting people with interesting stories to tell. And I kind of think that in years to come, it might even be a little bit like Rockstars. Maybe not as, you know, rock-starry as Rockstars, because you can't go on stage with your computer and do some coding and really get a reaction. But, you know, people, and already have, started to kind of like admire and love some of the people that made the games they admire and love the most. Do you know what I mean? That kind of makes sense, doesn't it? So here, we're in at ground floor with potentially next generation's like notable artists. Who knows if Soft Swarovski is going to go on to create the next game-breaking piece of media. He already made something that got played by PewDiePie and sort of, you know, went viral. That game about slavery in Brazil, you know, that was quite interesting, wasn't it? These people are thinking people in at the ground floor with their stories. I think that's good as well. And we've got Tommy Palm, who made Candy Crush. He's in there as a sort of fairy godfather figure who makes this possible by being, what's the word? Philanthropic with his time and also his money, but his time and his advice and, you know, those sort of things. Like, so there's a lot in that. There's a lot in that. And people will be interested in that, won't they? The games industry. We're on Twitch, aren't we? I'm streaming on Twitch. Everybody that plays games on Twitch or streams on Twitch would be interested in that, won't they? They will play the games. They've heard of Nintendo. If you've heard of Nintendo, this might be up your street. How about that? That's a good enough. It's an indie game about indie development. No, it's an indie film about indie game development. Get it right. Get it right, you and your film people with your taglines. It's an indie film about indie development. Indie heart of Sweden. In the heart of Sweden. So, yeah, and you either like it or you don't, frankly. And if you don't like it, why you're not still here listening? Why am I talking to you? If you do like it, consider making this not necessarily the jewel in the crown of your program. Just slip it in there. Slip it in there with the programming. It's one for the 30-somethings and under and over. Slip it in there. Just slip it in there. You've briefly heard of Nintendo. People have heard of Sammy Smallbollocks. It's Billy Big Bollocks, mate. Billy Big Bollocks. That's when you cock of the hoop. When you cock of the hoop. Billy Big Bollocks with your swagger, isn't it? Swagger went on to mean the things you wear, but before that it meant how you walked. Do you remember back in the old days before the kids got hold of it?
You write born to kill on your helmet and you wear a peace button. What's that supposed to be, some kind of sick joke?
I think I was trying to suggest something about the duality of man, sir.
Tree has learned how to use the Tippies system to write messages in the Tippies, and it's blown my mind. She wants to get it to Gaming Channel TV. That's a good idea, isn't it? I bet exactly. These are the things that I don't, you know, stupid brain over here. I know about Amazon and Netflix, but I'm like, I did send, like I said, 100 emails a day for about a month to like anything with TV written on it. Anything. I got an email, but I'll tell you a little story. You'll like this. I sent an email to the BBC. They're the British Broadcasting Corporation. In my mind, the highest, probably not the highest paying, but the highest standard of broadcasting, because that's what I've watched all my life. It's on the telly round where I live. I've got Sky now as well, but we're having to give it up this year because it's too expensive for us to keep it. But anyway, I can comment. You can comment here.
You're born to kill on your helmet and you wear a peace button. What's that supposed to be, some kind of sick joke?
I think I was trying to suggest something about the duality of man, sir.
You can comment in just the chat, or I suppose I need to fix the tippy system so your comments can be seen when you make a tippy. I see what you're saying there. See, there are things that even up to date old me ain't still quite. It works as a tippy system better than the chippies and Twitch. But anyway, look, the duality of man. Yes, duality of man. Something about the duality of man, sir. You'll be able to Google that now and find out about it. It's the Jungian thing. It's a quote from a film, isn't it? It's a quote from a film. Don't tell them. Look, I've forgotten what I was saying now. Forgot what I was saying. Cock of the hoop, Billy Big Bollocks, striding in there. Then Swag, the kids got hold of it, and it was clothes. And the kids got hold of it, changed the name and the meaning of the word. Swag became the clothes that you wear, rather than the fashion of the walk. Was that what I was saying? Was that it? Was that all I was saying? Should we open up the coffee and see what... I'm going to have to do this now. It's bugging me now. It comes in another window and you have to open it. I mean, I just want me coffee. It should know me. It should know me. There's me, Ganjikidd. That's me. It knows me. See, look, she's been buying coffees. I can't comment on your stream as verifying doesn't work. Oh, that's a bit of a shame. I want people to just be able to talk at will. I don't want them to have to... beautiful film, thank you. I don't want them to have to worry about verification, really. I just don't... I'm not good at the system. First large arms. Because we've got a system here where if you're in the Ganjikidd Warriors, you get like a military style rank. I just throw them around. Gaming chat, right? Okay, yeah. I'm starting to see. I'm catching up now. And it's the only way you can comment. We will have to find a way of getting you to be able to comment here in the verification. Why is it verify? You see, this is something I now need to do off camera. I need to go into settings and look at things, and I think verification's okay as long as you can. I mean, I don't know what verification means. I just mean that I think people need to really be real to be able to chat, but I don't want it to block people out if they are real, obviously, because they're real. I haven't got. There's nothing come up for me to say, can you please verify this person? You're subscribed, so that should be verification enough, shouldn't it? That should, how dare they not allow you to chat if you've subscribed? Frankly, that's how I feel about that. But I'm not going to call Twitch up because I don't know their phone number. That's why you need a producer for these things. I'll tell you something else. I've done myself down a little bit over the course of this stream. I've poo-pooed my skills a bit. But let's be fair, I am running the whole show. I am fairly capable of most of this stuff. But some of it, I just like to take a day and have a look at it. And then it goes on the back burner, and then I don't get up to doing it, and then other things run away with us. We're supposed to get emoticons for when you become a subscriber. And I've got a plan for it, but it just hasn't quite happened in a whole year. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those things. But I have priorities. The real life priorities involve walking the dog. That has to happen in the next... I've got to go in 15 minutes, go and actually do that. But the day-to-day work priorities for me seem to...
You write born to kill on your helmet and you wear a peace button.
I don't mind. We'll keep charging you for. We'll keep charging you.
Something about the duality of man, sir.
We'll keep charging you. You can just keep paying. Everyone else can just be verified, and only you. I don't know. So Onyx Gamer lives next door. Knock on the wall and ask him.